OK, my friend, let's move it to South London from North London. We'll go to Stamford Bridge. We'll go to Chelsea. We'll go to 4 goals conceded into back-to-back games now. 4-1 against Liverpool. You kind of go, oh, that's not a very good result, but it's Liverpool. 4-2 defeat to Wolves, in absolutely no disrespect to Gary O'Neill, who we've talked to him and is doing a wonderful job. Oh. But 4-2 defeat at home to Wolves at this stage of the season, after we've talked about our friend Mr. Pochettino and time and development and progress, and it's starting to get a bit serious, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shocker, isn't it? It's a shocker. I mean, the Wolves go above them in the league table as well. Yeah. You look at the team and it's like, well, this looks, you've got your Sterling, you've got your midfield, your expensive midfield players in Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. In Cuckoo. So I watched, just for full disclosure. Yeah. I watched the Man United game, same game. So you watched this when I watched the Man United. So I can give you more detail on that. But of course, I saw bits of it. I saw the highlights. I saw the team. I know at Stamford Bridge. I know against Wolverhampton Wanderers that are trying to keep a team, from what they had pre-season. It's incredible. And we talked about it on the midweek pod, where like, how long before we start to say, well, hang on a minute, Pochettino, surely this squad's better. I mean, Graham Potter's was different last year. The squad changes so much. Yeah. I mean, it's making Potter look better every flipping week, given that you think that they're trimming the squad.
Becky Lowe said players. Exactly why Potter's out and about now. He doesn't look half as bad, does he? Apparently, Rob, they're in a worse position now than they were under Potter.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. They've got less points or something, or conceded more goals or something. It's an astonishing. I mean, I'm not going to flip and say too much about this, Rob, but can you remember one of the early podcasts, like the second week or the third week? Yeah. I remember saying on this show that this is going to be a long, tough season for Chelsea, because given the team I'd seen for 2 or 3 weeks and look at the new players, I'm thinking they look very good. They just don't look very good, and I think that is true. Plus. But they're still better than what they're doing right now. There seems to be no fight, Rob, in them. No. And am I being? If there's one thing you could say about Pochettino that maybe, I don't know, that he isn't on the same level as some of the other ones, would it be kind of fight and determination and pressing and aggression and I know he does it his own way, and that's often the football side of things, which he's trying to do at Chelsea. But should we expect more aggression from his team, more fight from his team that you might expect from a Chelsea team that I always regard as being physical? Blimmin' heck, some of the Chelsea sides in the past. Now, should there? I'm pointing more at Pochettino now, Robin. Should he be coaching and encouraging his team to be more aggressive in the game? Because that was way too easy to lose like that at home to Wolves.
Yeah, I mean. Poch wants to do it a certain way, and he was assigned to the, and I hate the word, but the project to, develop this young talent and build a team. But
yeah, it sounds good.
We're now, 22, 23 games in. We are in a situation where I'm not sure he knows any more than from the first day of the season what his best 11 looks like. No one unit in the team. The defence, if you had to pick your best back four, I'm not sure you'd know. Chilwell's nowhere near the player he was when he started the season. I know he's had an injury. He doesn't look as committed. Disasi looks a disaster, never mind Disasi. Midfield two of Enzo and Caicedo, Rob, have got lots of potential, lots of ability. They don't understand the responsibility, the role in midfield, what sometimes you have to do and hook things on and get things away and be solid. There's a front line that, apart from Cole Palmer, I'm not sure who your best wide players are. You've got centre forwards who don't necessarily score that many goals. It does start to look bad on him. I think he'll get the season. As I talked about in the last pod, I think he'll start next season, but I think he'll have to hit the ground running. I think he has to change his outlook, Rob. I think he has to start being a little bit tougher and a bit more ruthless and saying, you know what, you play in my team. If you don't do well, come and sit out. You're out. You're out for the next month, and go and find out, Rob. And if he has to go to Todd Bowley at the end of the season and go, these 10 players here, they're not good enough for what we want. They're not good enough for Chelsea where we want to go. You have to sort that out. I think that's where we're getting to with this now. Because if he doesn't do that, Rob, I'm a little bit worried for him because I think it starts to turn on him.
100%, Rob. I was about to go the same place. He's got to turn nasty. He's got to turn more aggressive. He's got to start throwing teacups around and get a little bit old school. Because this, these young players that have had accolades, big transfer moves, big wages, and big moves to Chelsea Football Club, and it's almost like they haven't grown up yet. And I don't know. I mean, Moises Caicedo should know it, and I saw his anger afterwards. And in some ways, it's good to see that.
Yeah,
it's good to see that, like proper emotion, proper anger. Yeah, he really, really was upset when he came off, and I think the club needs that. I think you're right, Rob. Whether it's street, like, I don't know. Listen, we've all had different managers, Rob, and I understand that different managers have different styles, different ways. But I think at some point, I don't care what your mannerisms are, you've got to scare the players a little bit, like frighten the players into performing. There's got to be a bit of fear factor. And all the greatest managers, when you think about it, they've got a real. You know that Klopp's got a nasty streak. You know that Pep's got a nasty streak. Sir Alex Ferguson's legendary hairdryer in your face, flipping, hammering players. Kenny Dalglish, Liverpool, I remember. There's a nasty streak in all these guys, and maybe he's got it, Poch. But I tell you what, whichever way it is, this, and I know that that in some ways I've criticised some of the recruitment, whether the right quality to, but this is unacceptable. 11th place in the league table right now. I mean, -1 goal difference. They conceded more than they've scored all season long. It's astonishing, the underperformance of this football club from the recruitment. And by the way, I understand. And we know that Todd Bowley initially at this football club had to do a lot of things on his own. He had to try and pick the players, and with him and Thomas Tuchel, they threw some players in there. But now there's CEO, there's 2 directors of football. They got the coach that they want. Like, and if you're him or if you're the ownership, Clear Lake Capital, it's like, well, okay, guys, like, okay, what's going on? I'm out of it now. You've had my money. You're the pros. I've hired all the pros. What's going on? So that I would think will be coming from the owner as well, because we can talk about project, we can talk about time, you can talk about your 2 years, Rob. I can talk about some of the players aren't good enough. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for Chelsea Football Club to be in the bottom half of the table below, your Wolverhampton Wanderers that we thought were going to get relegated. So, yeah, I mean, it's starting to be alarm bells now, and there's got to be some reaction from the club, from the manager and the players in the next game.
Absolutely. It was one of those days I said on air to Bex, right now I'd rather have the group of Wolves players behind me, but I know what I'm going to get, than the group of Chelsea players. And you think how much has been spent and how much wages. And let's not forget, by the way, Wolves haven't got Hee Chan Wang, who's their best striker, who's been away for so much time. So it's incredible. Just before we move on this, mate, and I have to go there with you, because you know Lady Low and her provocative ways. There's a certain Portuguese young gentleman who's now available, not working in Italian football.
Don't even think about it.
Just let me go finish the statement. And she suggested, do you think if things don't go well between now and maybe the end of the season, would Mr. Bowley at all be interested in a conversation with a certain Portuguese gentleman who would come in, Rob, who would get some fear? Now, I said the fit with the young players just doesn't work. I don't think it's the kind of thing that he would do right now. But it's an interesting angle, Robbie Mustoe.
Well, it is an angle, and I have heard a little bit of fans talk about it. I'm with you, Rob, with the young players thing. I mean, this is this is so not a Jose squad and a philosophy of bringing it. I mean, it's just so not. Apart from the fact the jobs that he's done recently have not ended well, the Spurs situation, the anger, the bitterness about him continues to grow. You're going backwards. He's gonna. Oh no, not in my opinion, Rob. I mean, we all know that he'll shake it up. It upsets everybody. Everybody starts fighting. There's horrible play. It should end right now. If they end up doing that, then I kind of give up. I give up in my job, because what?
I'll take that as a very definite no.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.